Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with the President with me, Jose Segura, SMEA President. Hey, it's good to see everybody. Happy Friday. Just got a couple of things, so let's get started. First things first, drive-through flu shot clinic. That's right, you heard me, drive-through flu shot clinic. The district had decided not to hold their usual flu shot clinic down at the district office, and so SMEA is stepping up, and we are coordinating a drive-through flu shot clinic. This flu shot clinic is available to all district employees who are covered under the district's benefits plan, as well as their dependents. So here's what we're going to do. Because this is a much wider net, doesn't just include SMEA members, we're sending information about the drive-through flu shot clinic to your district email later today. So check your district email for information on that. All you got to do is go online, make an appointment for yourself, show up around the time of your appointment, drive through. There's a single page form that's super easy to fill out. Download it, print it, fill it out, and bring it with you when you come to the drive-through flu shot clinic. The flu shot clinic is going to be on November 18th and 19th from 12 to 5 p.m. on both of those days. So check your district email for information on the drive-through flu shot clinic later on this month. Awesome. Okay, let's move on to negotiations. Rather than listen to me, I'll go on about negotiations. Let's go ahead and have Jonathan B.A., the SMEA lead negotiator, take it from here. Jonathan?
As you probably know, our contract has expired, and the team and I are working on negotiating the successor to that agreement. We worked hard all last year in the hope that we would have it wrapped up by the end of the school year, but it just didn't happen. Part of that was due to the coronavirus quarantine and the school shutdown that ensued. However, we did continue to negotiate through the quarantine and up to the end of the school year. But then, as we entered the summer, shifted our focus to the distance learning MOU that we are now living under. So since the start of this school year, the team and I have had 3 negotiating sessions with the school district, one on September 9th, the second on October 20th, and the last just last Friday on October 30th. We have made some headway, mostly last school year. We've TA'd or tentatively agreed to, I believe, 8 articles, so we've had some success. TAs, tentative agreements, as you may recall, are basically conceptual agreements. We've come to agreement, we agree on the language, we've signed off on it, and then we set that aside pending ratification. So usually how it works is we wait until all the articles are settled, the whole contract as a package is done, and then we bring it out and ratify it all at once. So until we wrap up the unresolved issues, those items that are in agreement will be set aside and will not take effect until they are ratified. Okay, so we had 3 days, as I said. September 9th, we spent the bulk of our time talking about the current MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding, that are out there throughout the district. We have 5 that are in action right now, or are in effect right now, I should say. One of them is the all-day kinder program at Arianas Elementary School. The other is the alternative schedule at Arianas Junior High School. Both of those MOUs will now continue through the 21-22 school year, so that's a good thing. Another MOU that we have is the one allowing junior high school teachers to sub during their prep time. That will continue through this school year, and both parties would like it to go into the contract language because we think it's a good program that is worth making permanent in the contract. Another one is the MOU governing SPED members getting paid via EWAs for extra time that they're spending in meetings outside of their contracted work time. However, the district's not so sure that that program warrants continuing. They don't believe that there is enough usage of it to justify its continuance. We have a different opinion. We're waiting to hear back from them on their final decision on whether or not they want to continue it. The last one is president's release. So currently our SMEA president has 100% release, and that's partially funded through a grant that we have from NEA and CTA. SMEA has proposed when the grant expires that it become permanent in the contract language, that the ability for the president to have up to 100% release become permanent in the contract language. We've had presidents in the past that have had 100% release prior to our current president. So we'd like to have that flexibility built into the contract language. At this time, the district and the school board do not see it that way. They do not feel that The benefits of our president being released 100% are worthy enough to justify it going into the contract. So that's a bone of contention we have with them. So that's unresolved at this time. But in the meantime, our president currently does have 100% release and will have it for the rest of this school year. So there's that. Okay, so getting back to the 3 dates. September 9th, we spent the bulk of our time renewing the MOUs, discussing the renewal of the MOUs. And we discussed scheduling also, the scheduling of negotiations times. That's been a concern of our team. We are really reluctant to lose instructional time with our students, and also concerned about the utilization of substitutes during the distance learning period. So we've been negotiating from 2:30 to 5 on the days that we've met with the district. So not a lot of time to get things done, but our main focus, I'm sure like yours, is on what's best for our students. So we're trying to really put our emphasis on doing the right thing by our students. Anyway, on October 20th, we basically reviewed our positions, if you will, our proposals on the various points. So we've got big issues out there still. Like I said, class size, salary, and workday work year. Those are still the 3 big ones as they were last year, and remain big items in this bargain. So we were basically just reviewing where we're at, because it's been several months, to be honest with you, since we've looked at some of these proposals due to the quarantine and the shutdown, et cetera. So, we traded most of these proposals last spring, even some of them in the wintertime. So it's been several months since we've really considered either side's position and proposal. However, we're kind of right back where we were on those issues before, kind of at loggerheads. So those remain unresolved. So we spent the time on those 2 second days, the 20th and then later on the 30th, kind of clarifying our positions and reiterating that those in fact are our positions and that we intend to maintain them. So that makes it kind of hard when you're trying to negotiate a compromise, which results in a settlement. So we're kind of at a crossroads. We could declare impasse, which would bring a third-party mediator into the mix and ultimately could lead to a fact-finding process. That's a pretty draconian choice to make. I don't think either side wants to go there. I think both sides would prefer to amicably settle this amongst ourselves and make this bargain happen. But as I've said in the past, SMEA is reluctant, unwilling to give up certain things that are important to members simply to make the deal. So that makes it complicated, of course, because we have to figure out alternatives if we are in fact going to settle. So as I was saying, class size remains an issue. As I was saying before in the last update, which was months ago now, the district made an offer of basically status quo for class size, and then came back later after SMEA countered that one with another, what we perceive to be regressive offer, because they want to increase class sizes. So that's definitely a worse offer than status quo. So in the world of negotiations, you usually don't make a worse offer than the previous offer. That we would consider that regressive. However, the district has said that due to the material change in the state's financial situation, that they are justified in seeking the flexibility that larger class sizes would give them. SMEA disagrees with that point of view, but have been unable to make inroads with the district on lowering class sizes. So we're stuck on that. Salary, kind of the same thing there. We have made an on-schedule salary ask. The district has responded with 0. We have been somewhat reluctant to counter that offer because basically we would be negotiating against ourselves by doing so. So that's something that we've been wrangling with as well. And then there's workday work year, Article 5, which has been a big one, right? We talked a lot about that last spring. And prior to that, actually, basically all last year, Article 5 was the big one in the bargain, as we were saying then, and remains so now. So there's a lot in Article 5. We spent some time on the 30th, the 20th, and the 30th discussing the points of contention. We were able to reiterate our concerns to the district on the 20th, and they kind of pushed back a little bit on the 30th. So um, I think we're in for more of the same going forward. So again, we're kind of at a crossroads. One option could be impasse, and what goes along with that, mediation, perhaps fact finding down the road. There's always the hope that we could come together and settle. I still believe, and our team does as well, that there's a settlement in there, and a reasonable one. It's just whether or not we're ready to go there is another deal, another issue. So, other than impasse, one way we might be able to come to settlement on this, to wrap it up, would be to consider a comprehensive or package proposal wrapping all of the items into one. Sometimes that helps when you have contentious issues that are holding up the bargain. So we have suggested that both parties consider a comprehensive or package proposal for all of the items on the table that are currently unresolved at the table, including class size, salary, and salary, class size, and workday work year. We also still have evaluation as an item on the table. Leaves is on the table. So there's still a lot to be talked about. There's still a lot of work to be done. Unfortunately, we do not have any other dates calendared at this time. So hopefully we'll be getting some more dates soon so that we can continue the work and hopefully bring this to a conclusion. So yes, there's not a whole lot of new information to report right now because we are just kind of reconvening, getting back to the table, taking a look at our prior proposals, reiterating our positions, and trying to figure out a way forward on these issues so that we can reach settlement. So that's regular negotiations. The contract that has expired, we're working on the successor to that. Additionally, the team will be working on language pertaining to the reopening of schools here in Santa Maria Bonita very soon. So no dates have been set yet for those negotiations, but that's something else that the team will be working on, what it looks like when we reopen schools here in Santa Maria Bonita. Also, another negotiating team has been formed, a second negotiating team, to negotiate terms and conditions for our newest SMEA members, teacher tutors. You may be saying to yourself, well, wait a minute, I didn't think we had teacher tutors. Well, it turns out we do. There are at least 2 teacher tutors working in the Arianes Elementary full-day kinder program, so we have a couple employed there, and there may be some more out there, but they don't have any contract language defining the terms and conditions of their work, their rights and responsibilities, etc. So a second team has been formed, and we will be meeting with the district team tomorrow, November 6th, to begin negotiations for the terms and conditions of teacher tutor members. So they will ultimately have contract language that specifies their rights, their responsibilities, etc. So that's exciting. That team will consist of 2 teacher tutors, myself, 2 members of our negotiating team, Brian Gong and Jessica Husselstein, as well as our president, Jose Segura, and our CTA rep, Andrew Ullman. So once again, that begins tomorrow, and we're excited about the prospect of working closely with teacher tutors and the district on coming up with some contract language that defines their work. Exciting times in negotiations, as you can probably imagine. So I don't know if you're getting a sense, but it's a pretty busy time too. I'll remind everybody that our negotiating team members, just like you, we're in the trenches every day. None of us have full-time release. So we're doing the best we can, given the circumstances. As I said, it's been hard to find time to do the work other than during class time, and we've been very reluctant to lose instructional time with our students. So there's been a bit of a time crunch. And then these items that we're working on tend to be very important in the moment, the distance learning MOU, for example, and the one about reopening schools. Obviously, when that time comes, it's going to be very important to have quality language in place. So a lot of work to be done. The work is happening. It's been slow going, but we're hanging in there, and we will continue to fight for you at the table. I should say tables, because we'll have at least 2, possibly 3 open as we negotiate the various things. So we've got our regular contract negotiations for the successor to our now expired contract happening. We've got negotiations bringing teacher tutors into the contract. That begins tomorrow. And then ultimately, to be determined, dates to be determined, we will be negotiating the reopening of schools in Santa Maria Bonita. So lots to do, lots to talk about. That's kind of it in a nutshell. I hope I covered everything. I know that was kind of a lot of talking with probably not a lot of substance, but that seems to be the way I roll sometimes. At any rate, if you have any questions or concerns, please contact me. You can reach me at 714-4768. Call or text me there, or you can always email me at jobeya@smbsd.net. And that is all I have to report right now. So thank you very much for your time. Hang in there and keep the faith and keep up the good work.
All right, good job, Jonathan. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So if you have any questions about bargaining, negotiations, please feel free to contact me or Jonathan. That's why we are here. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.